Walmart, it's rolling out virtual try-on rooms for its clothes on its website. You know, we've seen this technology. We've seen companies like Wayfair kind of do it with furniture. Snap does it with clothes too, I think. But is this the next evolution of online shopping? And if so, who are the current leaders?
Yes. Virtual augmented reality, extended reality. That is absolutely the future of online shopping, no doubt. What's interesting though is I think the way it's going to be implemented is not the way a lot of people think it's going to be implemented. So a lot of people, you say virtual augmented extended reality, and you think putting on these massive bulky Oculus headsets or whatever, and then plugging into a metaverse, and that's how you do things. I don't think people are ever going to do that like on a ubiquitous scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the iPhone became ubiquitous, and a lot of people in the early 2000s said it wasn't going to become ubiquitous, but it became ubiquitous because it wasn't a hassle. It actually improved convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Putting on a massive headset, I don't care how awesome it is. That's not convenient. An iPhone fits in the palm of my hand, and it's boom, 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 boom. Headset, yeah, I mean, come on, headset, no. Yeah. But what people are engineering are different ways to plug you in to the metaverse, to plug you in to augmented reality, to plug you into extended reality. One of the interesting ways that I'm seeing is there's a company called Brailleon, startup, and what they're doing is they're building, I'm going to use the term XR desktop setups.
Okay.
So it's like this massive screen that's curved, a massive curved screen. And I think it's about 122 inches from end to end. And it's about 5 feet deep. So it's this kind of like semicircle screen. And it's got a cover to it and it's got a bottom to it. And what you do is I think you're supposed to put it on your desk, and then it takes up your entire desk, and then you just sit and you put your head kind of in it.
Uh-huh.
And then you're just working like this, but you're now immersed in this kind of three-dimensional screen that is going to be feeding you augmented extended reality stuff.
Okay.
I think that's the way people plug into it. I don't think it's we have these headsets and then we go everywhere. Mm-hmm. I think it's more like I'm going to sit down because believe it or not, one of the best applications of XR, VR, AR is work applications. Mm-hmm. That sitting down and be able to have multiple screens, do multiple things, drag and drop, kind of make things happen. Like the work environment actually is a great place for VR to have huge benefits. So I think people, as opposed to having desks and like I have like 16 monitors here, just have one big VR thing and boom, I'm plugged in every time I just sit down. And then I sit down, I plug into the VR environment, I'm with it, I'm working, boom, 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 boom. Check out, go on and do my, my regular life. So I think that is kind of the application of how this is going to work. VR is going to exist through different devices than headsets. The other one is lenses, and that's where virtual try-on stuff comes on. So Snapchat's a big pioneer in this. And what they have are these lenses that they basically leverage your phone. So it's no new hardware. They leverage your phone's camera, which now has LiDAR sensors in it, so that you can basically try on these lenses and see, oh, this shirt looks good on me, these shoes look good on me, these glasses look good on me, so on and so forth. And that allows people to virtually try on things without having to buy bulky headsets. So I do think what Walmart's doing, Shopify's doing some stuff with it, Wayfair's doing some stuff with it, Snapchat's doing some stuff with it, this Brailleon company's doing some cool stuff. I do think virtual extended reality, those technologies, augmented reality, have huge upside potential, but not in the vein of headsets, in the vein of different types of hardware that aren't as intrusive. Yes, a 122-inch curved screen, 5-foot depth thing sounds very intrusive, but if it just sits at your desk all day, it's not intrusive. Right? It just sits at your desk like your monitor. So that's it. So I think these are novel technologies coming to the forefront that are going to introduce VR, AR, XR to a wider range of people. The reality is this technology has a lot of potential, but the hardware through which the companies are trying to introduce that technology to the masses is limiting. Get rid of the headsets. If I'm over at Meta, I'm over at Amazon, whatever company is designing these, Microsoft, my directives would be get rid of the headsets and find a different way for people to plug into the metaverse. You do that, you find a convenient way for people to do that, and boom, it's off to the races. Because think about the internet for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm going on and on here, but think about the internet for the second. The internet really took off when you put it in everybody's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you made the internet this big,
Mm-hmm.
6 inches, 5 inches?
Mm-hmm.
When you made the internet this big, everybody got on it.
Yep.
Before the iPhone, not everybody had a computer and was on the internet and typing away and doing all those things. I remember going to grade school in the 2000s and learning how to type was like a huge class because a lot of people didn't know how to type.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a big deal. So like the internet was not a ubiquity until the iPhone rolled around. You make a novel technology with huge value props, exceptionally convenient, and boom, that's a recipe for mass ubiquitous adoption. So that's what I'm looking for in the VR realm.
So then I totally agree with you. You know, the big headsets are definitely not the way to go. You know, we had Google Glass. That was sort of the initial conception of augmented reality. But it looked hideous. But when we get to a point where it's not a giant headset, it's not this obtrusive thing that you're wearing on your head, but it comes as, you know, commonplace as a pair of glasses, which, you know, I know that I bought a pair of these. I forget what they're called. Focals. They had augmented reality, very basic. They could give you turn by turn directions. But they looked like a pair of glasses. They had a little bit of a big projector on the side, still a little bit bulkier than your average pair of glasses, but they looked like a pair of glasses. Eventually, I do think that technology is going to end up coming to fruition. When that happens, do you see that shift? Is that the technology, or is it something before that that's going to have this massive augmented reality, extended reality adoption?
No, whatever hardware figures out how to make VR ultra accessible and ultra convenient, that's when this industry goes crazy. And yes, the maker of that hardware device is going to make a lot of money. Apple's made a lot of money, but then once everybody got on the internet in the 2010s, so many empires were built on top of that infrastructure, right? It wasn't just Apple that made a bunch of money by making the internet a ubiquity. It was Facebook, it was Netflix, it was Amazon. All of these companies built empires on top of the internet becoming ubiquity. So we're just waiting for that hardware breakthrough, that single hardware breakthrough in VR, AR, XR to make this technology ubiquity. Then the company that makes that hardware and hardware competing with it will make a lot of money, of course. But then empires are going to be built on top of the metaverse becoming ubiquity, on top of augmented reality becoming ubiquity. And those are the companies I'm more excited about because, yes, Apple's been a tremendous investment, but honestly, bigger returns were had by buying Amazon. Bigger returns were had by buying Netflix. Bigger returns were had by buying Microsoft. That there were bigger returns had from the launch of the iPhone to today than buying Apple. So I do think that once the hardware element is figured out here, and I don't know if that happens this year or next year or 2024. I do know it's probably going to happen within the next 3 years. Given all the innovation I'm seeing, this whole Braille thing with the desktop is really cool. I've seen VR contact lenses. They're trying to work on those, the VR glasses you've talked about. So there's a lot of innovation happening. People are trying to figure this out. The more people try, the sooner we're going to get to a solution. So we're eventually going to get to a solution. And when that happens, you're going to want to be invested in the companies building software applications on top of the metaverse. Those are going to be the companies that develop enormous value in the 2020 to 2025, 2030 range.
Thanks for watching HGI Clips. For the full episode, head on over to our sister channel at Hypergrowth Investing by clicking the link in the description or listen to the podcast on any of your favorite streaming platforms. We make new episodes every Wednesday, so make sure to check it out and subscribe to never miss any of Luke's Hypergrowth insights.